Hey girl,
Oh,
what's
hey
up?
girl, hey.
Welcome to the
Oh, I
party.
worked out today and I am exhausted.
Girl, you better than me. I need to work out, honestly.
Girl, the pandemic, I gotta stay in shape.
You gotta
Whenever
pop out.
whenever we can step back outside.
Then you giving it to the girls. They not gonna be ready, okay?
Not at all.
You posted a cute picture today too. I said, oh, I need
You
some
know,
tips.
you know,
I need
you
some
know, so
tips.
so that's actually a part of the schedule.
Uh-huh.
Like on days I wake up, I'm like, I'm gonna take pictures today. Let me pull out the ring light. Let me
Yes.
shower and get my eyebrows done. And I'm like, okay, so I'll take like 3 or 4 pictures in different outfits just so I can have some shit to post.
Yes, girl, I need to do that. I need to do that because you be giving it to them consistently. I love it.
You know,
All right, so I'm gonna do your intro real quick, and then we can hop right into it. Okay? Yes. So Mandy B is a digital content creator without a filter. She has paved her own lane in the media by delivering her no holds barred commentary with a side of raunchy sex appeal. Mandy has worked with Viceland, HBO, Epstein, etc. Her big personality makes her so fun to watch, and it's no wonder she has been able to create such a large following. When Mandy isn't joining, I told you recently on this, Jadena and Yusuf on the Lit Review, you can catch her spilling juicy deets on her uncut podcast, Horrible Decisions.
yeah.
Yeah, so welcome, Mandy. Thank you so much. I see your people are coming in. They're excited.
Thank you. And girl, I hate when people talk about me in front of my face. It's like,
Cringe. No, it was good. It's good, girl. Bask in it.
raunchy,
Bask in
girl,
it.
I'm toning down the pictures. They be a little sexy but raunchy. I be holding back.
Not
I,
brunch. Okay.
I like to think I take PG-13
A little PG
type of
13.
pictures, but they not rated R. They're not rated R.
You're right. You're right. But you be giving it to him. I mean, you talk about sex a lot, so that's why I said a little
I
raunchy. You know what I
know,
mean?
but I mean, it's crazy because I mean, even with the conversations surrounding sex, I mean, it's so weird. Like all of us eat food, right?
Yeah,
And when we talk about our favorite meals
it's
and
not.
food that we like to eat, we say it with such conviction and it's a regular conversation. All of us
Right.
fucking. So I don't know why it's weird for me to say I eat ass and you get all weirded out about it.
Yes.
The same way we both can talk about seafood, we should be
Right.
able to talk about sex. So
Okay.
that's kind of, how I even look at sex.
And that's period. And I love that too, because a lot of people are a little like reserved when it comes to those conversations. So it's good that you are pushing the envelope and
For
making it
what? How do you think we got here?
exactly fill out the coop, okay? Yeah. So I just want to start with like your Instagram name is Full Court Pumps. So when I hear that name, I think of like for myself, I play basketball at Clark. Like I'm a former basketball player. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
So,
like, okay, full court and pumps. Like she's cute, but she can still get to yeah. So
yes.
is that was that the inspiration behind your name or like what's your
So
association with
I
sports?
Yeah, so I actually played sports my whole life.
Yes.
I played basketball, I played AAU, intramurals,
Yes.
JV. Like I played ball all throughout school. I also played volleyball and track and field, but volleyball I played that as well in college. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually was into sports blogging. So I was credentialed media with the NBA for 2 seasons. I did I was credentialed media at the ESPY Awards in 2011. And I actually was super into sports. What happened was I actually ended up getting back into school.
Okay.
So I started college. I was like, okay, I need to get a degree. There was so many jobs that I felt qualified for, but without that sheet of paper, I couldn't get.
Right.
So I decided to go back to school. And when I went back to school, I was like, okay, the blog scene at that time was kind of dying down. This was like 2014, 2015. So Instagram was popping, just things on the timeline was popping. And so I noticed like the money that I was getting from my Google AdSense wasn't as much. So
Yeah.
like, okay, blogs are disappearing. Blogs are disappearing. Let me, get my degree. And I actually was going to be an accountant. But yes, Full Court Pumps came from my sports side and my love
Yeah.
of
Yes. Okay. So, I see that you have been like affiliated with a lot of like big name companies and stuff. How did you get your first break in the industry, and like what were you working on before then, like leading up to then?
I mean, so it's weird because you say big name industries. Like I said, I got credentialed media with the
Right.
Orlando Magic, which is the
Yeah.
A, and being a part of the ESPYS. I would say, I mean, shit. I actually want to give a shout out to Michelle Hope.
Mm.
She was doing a documentary with Vice on HBO, and
Yeah.
she you know she saw what we were doing in the space, and we had a live show at Baruch College, and she was like, hey, I'm doing something for HBO, do you want to be involved? We want to do a consent piece during the live show, and that was kind of our first little spiel. Then um we got hit up by Vice, and Vice did an article on us calling us the raunchiest, hottest, newest podcast to hit the scene. And then
Right.
I would actually give a lot of credit. Shout out to Charlemagne. He introduced us to a producer at Viceland when Vice Live was a new show. And
Mm.
Cole and Charlemagne, they did the connection to get us on Viceland. So
Oh.
honestly, if anyone like really asks, to me, it's kind of all about who you know and who knows you. So
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that we asked or reached out to these companies, but a lot of people in our immediate circle saw what we were doing. And if anything fell in their lap, they were like, I know someone good for this. And they just kind of
Right.
put us in the right rooms.
So, how did you guys start the podcast? Like, what platform did you use? Like, what was the promotional strategy? How did
Um,
you build up your audience? Like,
yes, so we like to say it was done organically.
yeah,
I think that like I said, sex isn't new, but
yeah,
to hear us talk about it in the way that we were comfortable kind of openly talking about it, I think definitely caught people's attention. At the time, I believe I had maybe like 45,000 followers, and
okay.
I was already really active on social media between Instagram and Twitter.
So they
So
were already following you just for your personality, or you know
uh,
what I mean?
from the sports,
Okay.
people, I was, I was in there. I was getting in beats with Lil Duval, with Tax Stone. Like I was just hot at the, fast at the
In
mouth.
the mouth.
So
You,
I was. And so, like I said, so early on, we did reach out to our friends in the industry. So B Simone is a really big friend of mine. She was on
yeah, I
like,
think he liked your stuff. Yeah.
and she was on episode 6 of Horrible Decisions. She came back
Okay.
on as we grew. She was our first host when we did a live show in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew Rory. I already knew Maul for some time. So we got other podcasters on, which, that was a way for us to cross our audiences together.
Right. Okay. So the transition from you going from sports into the raunchiness, like how was that transition? Like how was your audience reaction to that? Oh, it's freezing a little bit.
You just froze, so you got to repeat that.
I know. I saw it moving. I was like, wait, what's happening? No, I was asking about your transition from the sports into like the sex commentary and stuff like that, your podcast. Like, how was that transition? Was your audience still receptive to it, or?
Yeah, because even though I did, I did more of the gossipy sports
Okay.
tabloids.
Oh, okay.
So I had actually wrote a book called Up
Oh.
on Game. And so in that book, I talked about getting flued out, knowing your relationship when you deal with athletes. So I was still very open with talking about sex and also
Mm-hmm.
talking about sports. I didn't think that you could only do one or the other. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people assume that if you're a woman who likes sports, you're automatically a lesbian or a stud, or
Yeah.
you can't wear heels and hoop at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I did.
Somebody said, "What's the name of the book? Of your
Oh,
book?"
called Up on Game.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I have it for free right now on Amazon. So it's
Okay.
Sport Pumps presents Up on Game. It was a self-published ebook that I did when I was 23 years old.
Mm.
So excuse the typos and shit, okay? I did it on my own as a 23. Okay.
Yeah. So, like again, you have like this huge following or whatever. So, what would your advice be for somebody that's trying to build their brand and build their following and stuff? For like, yeah, any influencers or people that are looking to be content creators.
So, if you're looking to be a content creator and you want to grow your brand, I would say continue to put out content and to for sure cross promote with anyone that you know that has more followers than you, or that also has an audience looking for content and engagement. Another thing is read your audience. I know that certain flyers don't do well. I can post a selfie. It might not do as well as one of my weight loss photos. Really figuring out my captions that lead to engagement. You need to kind of know your audience. So test things out. Figure out the algorithm, because Instagram sucks with that shit. But figure out your time to post and make sure that you're giving content that the people that are following you even see. Okay. I think people get on maybe trying to look at what other people are doing, not realizing that that person's audience isn't your same audience. Mm-hmm. So really kind of understanding your demographic.
Right. So for Horrible Decisions, what is you guys' what are you guys are still doing like your shows and stuff, or how has the pandemic affected you all, or it hasn't?
I absolutely hate recording remotely. There's wrong every week. It just hasn't been a smooth process. And I'm also like really big on wanting the audio to sound well. We're 3.5 years in. And to me, I focus on us as a podcast, not as a YouTube show, nothing like that. So to me, I want us to be pleasing to the ears. Right. That is just like the part we're trying to get over.
That's the main thing. Yeah. So you guys are just like recording from your respective places, and then
I have a setup to where, so basically anyone we record with, we want them to have a microphone. The way call-ins or internet audio sounds. Yeah. So huge difference between the two. Right. And so we have it set up to where anyone who is recording with us, we get on Zoom, we use Zoom as backup audio, and also a way for us to see and listen to each other. But everyone actually is just recording into their microphone on their own interface. So if you have a Zoom portable recorder, GarageBand, Audacity, you're recording on your own track. And so that way, when I assemble all of the tracks, if your levels are off, I can raise them to match the other people. Or I don't know if you noticed, like, but on Zoom, if someone's Wi-Fi is glitchy, they start to sound like a robot or it lags. The thing is, when you take that audio from Zoom, you hear that lag. You hear that. As far as if you record on your own interface, that doesn't really happen. So it's just making on the count of 3, hit record, everyone clap once or twice so that you can kind of align where everyone starts, and then you just align the tracks, but it allows you also to change the levels of each voice on the track. Okay. Yeah, I've kind of gotten like the engineering side of
that's good tips. That's good tips. Somebody in here is gonna write that down. Like,
yeah, well, I literally think that if you're a content creator, it's more than just showing up. Right. It's more than talent. I think that you should. I tell everyone to download Canva, make your own graphics, learn how to engineer, learn how to edit, because especially up front, if you want to keep your expenses low, you're going to have to spend the time, do your homework, and do your research and learn it.
I think that's important because a lot of people, everybody wants to outsource, but sometimes you aren't ready to outsource, or financially it's just not feasible for you to outsource. So the information is out there, so you might as well teach, learn yourself.
It's on YouTube. Yeah. You can Google. My friend Carla has a whole course that teaches people. I don't know. I just think that people automatically are like, okay, I need an engineer, I need a graphic designer, I need a producer. And people don't realize that starts to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Ton of money if you're doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a question for you. Hold on, I have some questions. Okay. So it said, I use Anchor as a platform for my podcast. How did you distribute your podcast to other platforms?
So here's the thing about Anchor. Anchor owns your RSS feed. So if for whatever reason you want to move your content to another host, it becomes very hard. So without, like, you will lose your downloads, and if you didn't save all of those episodes on a hard drive, good luck. So my friend Carly uses Libsyn. I actually use SoundCloud as a host.
Okay.
I like their stats. It's very easy. And your RSS feed is right there in the settings. And you literally can just push it out to everybody. So I actually use between Spreaker and SoundCloud. Libsyn shoots it out to everyone, but it's a little hard. I haven't caught on to it. I actually don't suggest people to use Anchor. I know it's like supposed to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
You don't actually own your RSS feed. Anchor does. So I would tell people to move away from Anchor, just because, say we're, all of this podcast drama is going on. The Call Her Daddy, all of this stuff is happening right now. Say Spotify buys you out.
Yeah.
And you've done a year and a half worth of content, and now Spotify wants you exclusively. Good luck pulling all that content off of Anchor.
Yeah.
Own that RSS feed. Otherwise, normally with SoundCloud and other things, you can just really just pull your RSS feed and move it over and have all your content in one place. But yeah, you want to just always want to be sure that you own your content for as long as you can. That
was really good. That was a great answer. So another question is, what is your process for coming up with your podcast topics?
I be like, girl, I just sucked some dick. I'm gonna talk about it on the show. No, I'm just like, we do actually share a lot of our personal lives on Horrible Decisions. So dating, going out, hanging with friends, that becomes part of the show. But also we do our due diligence and research. So we've gone through over 200 kinks. We look up sex in the news to see what's going on in the world. We also bring educators and people that know about things that we completely know nothing about. And so it's literally like, I don't know if y'all scroll Twitter, but you see some wild shit on the timeline.
Yo, Twitter goes crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, your everyday life becomes how you choose topics.
Yeah.
Like, whatever interests you and you feel like you have an opinion on that the world may agree or disagree with you, say that shit. I like to let people know everyone is not going to like you. Everyone is not going to agree with you, and that is okay. You will drive yourself crazy trying to appease everybody. So I'm no.
Right.
I say be you. Walk in your truth. You might get dragged, but it's okay. You will
live
another day.
Okay, and they watch it. Period.
Right. Bad press is still press.
Okay. So, Cardi said something when she got her award about the haters. Like, it benefits me regardless. Right?
Period. I love, like, I'll go on Twitter and I search Horrible Decisions, or I'll search my name just to see. I want to see what people are saying. I love when people are sweet and like, that Mandy girl from Horrible Decisions. Oh, I can't stand her. Bitch, but you listen every week though, so that's fine. Because guess who's the point? I do. I don't care if you hate me. Yeah. So
all right, we got some more questions down here.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. How do you monetize your podcast when you're only a year in or relatively new podcast?
So this is probably one of the most important things that I will say. Just because you create a podcast does not mean you are going to see a return. Okay. A podcast is a business. It's the same way if you invest in stocks, if you start your own company, if you decide you want to sell weave one day, you're just not going to see a profit or make money because you started this business. So
Right.
if you're in podcasting and you're in business in this space because you want to make money, I will immediately tell you to get the fuck out. Because this fun anymore. It'll become a chore, and nothing fun when it's looked at as a chore. So I would say have a passion for what you're doing before you worry about the money. If it's good content, you'll be approached by the right people to make money. Also, I went on Earn Your Leisure. 3 ways to monetize your podcast.
I
real
love
quick.
Earn Your Leisure. Yes.
Yes, I love them.
They're
I
good.
love. Okay, so 3 ways to monetize your podcast, real quick. The first one I say, get a Patreon. Patreon is a platform that allows you to support the creatives that you listen to. So if you feel like your fan base, even if it's only 10 people, if they really rock with you, give them ways to support what you're doing. So put tiers and give them behind the scenes, give them bonus content. It could be $2, $5, $20. Allow the people that listen to you to support you. Second way, if you get at least 1,000 listens on your podcast, industry standard is $25 CPM, which is $25 per 1,000 listens. So if you get 10,000 listens an episode on your podcast, you can charge $250 an ad. So that's a way to look at how if someone hits you up and says, hey, I want to do an ad on your show, you look at how many listens you get, divide it by 1,000 and multiply that by 25. And then the third part, of course, if you also have an audience that will support you, of course, going on tour and doing your live shows. We actually self-funded our whole first tour by ourselves.
Yo, your tour looked crazy too. I was like, damn, what is the Atlanta show? And then all this.
I'm so sad. Atlanta is our biggest show.
Yeah.
We sold out center stage at over 700 people seated. And they were adding seats. And then fucking coronavirus. So asking about merchandise.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could just pick, responses.
But
it's
fine. I saw it too.
Here's the thing, and I don't even know if you have something to add to this. Merchandise is expensive as the fuck. Mind you, you need different sizes. You want to offer different colors, different products. In terms of merch, I suggest looking into drop ship options. You're not going to get a margin of profit because it's going to cost you a little bit more. So your shirts may run you $10 to $14 a shirt, but you can price it at $25 or $30 a shirt. And so you're making $15 a shirt without money out. Putting a design and letting them fucking
purchase however they
purchase it. And the website, Teespring, Shopify, there's a couple other ones. They literally will send your merch out for you. They print it, they ship it. That's it. All you got to do is design it with a goddamn graphic.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do this. I'm about to sell this flyer and put it on a shirt.
People have been asking us. No, for real. People have been asking us about it too. So we're trying to figure out, what to do.
Don't sue me, bitch, because I'm putting it on a goddamn dropship shirt. Y'all check me out on Gymboree. It's gonna look like a tour t-shirt, vintage style, baby.
Okay. They said what was your experience like in the beginning stages of I guess?
So in the beginning stages, I was in school taking 7 classes. I was in my last semester getting my degrees in college while also working at Goldman Sachs. So I was working at an investment bank anywhere between 30 hours a week, and then during busy season over 50 hours while taking 7 classes and recording in Brooklyn. So it was, I felt like I had no time ever.
Right.
So that if you want to start a podcast, if you want to start any business, I probably have said this every time I've gotten on a platform. Your job is your first investor. So don't quit your job thinking you're about to make $500,000 podcasting. Like I said, studio costs. If you want graphics, if you want your product to be right, it's going to cost you money. So just
Right.
know that you now have to start putting that in your expenses. Maybe you shouldn't buy the sneakers that just dropped. Maybe you need to tell your homegirls or your homeboys you can't go out and drink this week because it's your responsibility to pay for studio for the next 2 weeks. I mean,
Right.
if working with partners, you need to like pretty much insert this as almost like a bill, so to speak. You know what I mean? So in the
Yeah.
early phases, just know you're gonna put out more money, but you need to maintain working. Keep your checks coming in. We didn't see a check for maybe the first year and a half.
Okay.
And mind you, that was still us paying ourselves back for the year and a half we were spending money. You know?
Right. Yeah. Wow. It's definitely a process. How did you find your co-host? Like, were you guys?
We were friends from Orlando.
Okay.
We stopped talking maybe around 20 years old. And then I moved up here. We didn't speak for about 5 years. Just we were at different points in our lives. And when she moved up to New York for a new job, we reconvened. And literally within like 3 weeks to a month of like, hey, how's your life been?
Right.
Hey, let's start a podcast. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I lie. I was like, if I don't see this going anywhere, I said, I'll give you 6 months. If I don't see it going anywhere, I'm about to be an accountant. I want to open my own firm and do taxes, and I'm about to work for a big 4 company. So like in my mind, if you talked to me 2 years ago, I literally thought I was about to have my career that I was going to have for the next 20 years.
Right.
I just passed in school, got 151 credits in 4 years, got 2 bachelor's degrees, and was like, in my mind, as an accountant, you work your way up. And a year into my accounting career, I quit because I saw my salary that I would have made in my first year of accounting. I ended up making in the first 4 months of 2019.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I think for like a lot of us, like even if we had experience working in corporate, like you get that feeling of like the world is so much bigger now. We have so much more opportunities and things like that. Like so the traditional standard of like getting a job, working there for 20 years and then retiring is like out the window. You know what I mean? So I just feel like a lot of people are doing that nowadays.
But I also don't like the LLC Twitter, they call it.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter, at the end of the day, I'll be honest, not everyone's a boss.
Right.
Not made to own a business. Not everyone is, can operate a couple $100,000 coming in and know what to do with it.
Right.
So I think it's very important to really look in the mirror and know, am I a boss? Am I talent? Am I only good behind the camera? Am I only good in front of the camera? Knowing your strengths and checking your ego at the door, I think
right. Yeah. No, that is key. Like standing with the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror.
Look,
period. Yeah.
Hey, baby, hold a mirror down to your vagina and understand what's going on down there.
It's what we doing? What is giving? Is this for the stars?
I mean, you just really need to know, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Am I organized? Do I have the patience to edit audio? Do I just want to show up? Do I know how to respond to an email correctly? I mean, it's this, which is why a lot of people are like, you have a degree in business and a degree in accounting, and now you're a podcaster. I say it all the time. I don't think that I would be as business savvy had I not gone through those classes and worked at companies like Goldman Sachs, Ernst & Young, the Department of Finance for New York State. Like, I held bitch, I'm tooting my horn. Sorry, because motherfuckers be thinking
I just crazy
dick. But, it does what it does.
Period.
So, but also that's what I'm saying. Taking your skills from the job that you hate and knowing, damn, I hate getting on these conference calls. I hate, giving presentations. Taking that shit you hate at work and using it if you're good at something, find something to take those skills and do something else that you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like working at Goldman Sachs and stuff like that, like, so you have money management experience, you're financially literate, like all the things that people are trying to tap into now that after they already have built something, you know what I mean? So it's good that you had that foundation to help you navigate. Let's see what else. We got a lot of questions in here.
Sorry if I'm long-winded. By the way, you just be like, all right, bitch, you're talking too long. Just be like, ah. And then
you good. You good. Your people is in here. They want to hear you, so I let you go. They said, what does your outline look like, and do you batch record your episodes?
So yes. So our one thing that I'm so glad we did, our topics are not time sensitive. You could 20 years from now and sucking dick 20 years ago, all the same shit. If someone listens to it, it's still sucking dick. Except for, maybe current events, what's on the Shade Room this week, people may not care next week. You know what I mean? And so what's crazy is a lot of people think that I want to start a podcast. Let's talk about current events. Do you know how many podcasts already talk about current events? I listen to Joe Budden, Brilliant Idiots, The Read.
Yeah.
All three completely different platforms, but they talk about the same things in a different light.
Yeah.
After those three, I don't care about your little podcast that got 20 listens. I don't care. But if you bring me something different where now you're talking about the crazy things that happen, or, you give me something new, that's where, okay, I might be interested in listening to this a little bit. So, do we batch record? Yes. We'll go into the studio and bust out 2 or 3 episodes in one session. What does my outline look like? We segment our episode. So I write it in my notes, right on my phone. I put intro, vanilla shit, hors d'oeuvre, hope facts, horrible decision, home mail, outro.
Yeah.
And beginning, we had our kink of the week. We segment it, and I literally fill in those segments, and that's what we talk about. There's it's that simple. It doesn't take that much work.
Right. But you're on top of it, so that's good.
You gotta be. I hate when people just sit in front of the mic and just think we care about what they ate and how it made they stomach grumble. Like, give us, I like to know what I'm gonna get from each show that I listen to. So I think an outline is very important.
Okay, this is a good question. They get small when the question is longer, so I'm like, how can I read this? But I guess it's about guests flaking at the last minute, and they had to pay fees for studios. What's the best way to present? I'm trying to see the rest of it. So, charge a fee or something. I don't know.
So here we go. If you are a guest-based podcast, I will say, and you're paying for studio time, you never just give somebody money. So if you're in that studio and your guest flakes, if you have a guest, y'all bust down a solo. Y'all talk with each other and you work on the fly. I mean, that's kind of just what you have to do in this game anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you have a co-host, you say, I bet we done paid for this. We're going to do a solo episode. Maybe this can be bonus for our Patreon.
Right.
And honestly, personally, if a guest flakes, they will never be invited again.
Okay.
I believe in you respecting my time and knowing this is my business. So if you pull a no call, no show, guess what? That in the real world, you're replaced and you're done.
Yeah.
Period. So if you come to my place of employment where I've brought you on board to do something with me and you flake, no call, no show, or canceling last minute, you completely disrespected my time. I don't want to deal with anyone who disrespects my time.
Yeah. Period. Somebody, she said in the comments.
And I ain't gonna lie, it's happened with a few guests where my co-hosts still want to bring them on. And because I don't believe in limiting creative expression, I let we know if you still want to do an episode with them, feel free to do a solo episode. I'll do one as well. We can balance it out. We can make this a solo, duo type of thing. They disrespected my time. I'm cool on them.
Yeah.
So if it was where she still wanted to record with them, I gave her that opportunity, but I let her know that person not getting my time, bro. I'm sorry. That's not how I do business. Period.
They said, especially when you reached out to my ass. Okay.
That. And this is going to be real shady. Do you know who did that to us twice? And as much as I want her on the podcast, I probably won't reach out again. Zane, who I loved growing up. She wrote all of the books that my pussy got wet to in 5th grade. I was like, oh my God, we get to interview Zane. And she flaked on us twice while we were in Atlanta.
Damn.
And as much as I really want to record with her, I'm like, oh nah, she disrespected my time. I'm cool. Got purple panties, that's her shit. But nah. Mind you, for one of the trips, Weezy and I came out of pocket. I was already going to be down there, and Weezy expensed the business to fly down there and everything for this interview.
Right.
And she canceled like a few hours before.
Damn. That's crazy. And the Zane books was lit up there, so I know y'all were looking forward to that.
And it's funny because some people may not know that's actually how we got to have the episode with my boy Meezy. He's 21 Savage's manager. So he pulled up, and then I had Lex and Drea from Poor Minds. They pulled up. And I was like, bitch, Zane really didn't show up. And I'm here. So pull up, and we actually ended up having really dope content, without it. So again, being on the fly. If your guest flakes, hit up a friend. If anyone's close and can come by, be like, hey, bitch, pull up.
Yes. Okay. That was good. So we are out of time.
I know it.
I know. They writing me like, girl, what you doing right now? But I'm having so much fun with you. So that's why I'm like, yeah, what else you got for us? Yeah. So anything you want to say to the people before you go? Anything you want to plug? Anything we need to know?
Well, I'm actually recording in an hour. We're batch recording. So I'm recording for Horrible Decisions. And also, like I said, I feel like I found my purpose with Horrible Decisions. So I just want y'all to know I have something new coming. Yes. I'm excited as fuck. It is a brand, but with a product and another podcast to go along with it. And I'm super, super excited. I'm gonna do a rollout. An album. Bitch, I'm gonna have a whole rollout. So
we're looking forward to it. Yes, we love that content, girl. Put it out. I can't wait to see what you do.
But no, thank you so much for having me, though. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
and
for sure.
Fine. This is so that you act like you ain't know. I'm putting this flyer on a shirt. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll let Pinson know.
All right.
Bye. It was a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye. You too.
See ya.